I'm Vaughn Baker. Some of you know me as a tennis player that played at the University of Maryland when AC and was part of ACC, and it was an undefeated team. Others know me as the guy who writes the articles for Pickleball in the Coastal Point. Very good local newspaper here in Sussex County. I've spent my whole life in tennis, and I spent a lot of my time helping people because a lot of people helped me as I became a tennis player. They gave their time freely when I was a kid, and it's just, for me, it's payback. And so I enjoy it, and I enjoy seeing people get better at playing pickleball.
It is just a well-rounded kind of sport. I'm exercising, and I don't even really realize I'm exercising.
One of my favorite parts about pickleball is you get a variety of people. You know, you get the athletes that have been involved in sports their whole life, but you also get an incredibly large number of people that never did anything physically.
It's very social and fun. You meet all kinds of people, but all of them, at least in my experience, have been very nice.
There's 50 million people now playing pickleball. It's growing so fast, it's very difficult to follow what the numbers are.
Well, pickleball came along when we moved down here, and it just took off, and it's a lot of fun.
I just love being active. I also taught physical education and special education, so movement and fitness is very important.
I'm a retired physician from New York. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 20 years ago, and so for me, pickleball has been a godsend. If you know anything about MS, you have problems with muscle strength, balance, coordination, and pickleball gives me all that in a fun, wonderful environment with great people.
The game is played on a court the size of a volleyball court. It's a cross between tennis, volleyball, and ping pong. When pickleball was just first starting, and tennis then being dominated by the big serve. And so the founders of pickleball decided to take the power of the net away, but make it the most important part of the game of pickleball.
As a pickleball player, I'm a competitive recreational player. You know, I love to play, try to win, but don't get too upset if I don't.
My game is just to play recklessly. I just play reckless abandon, just try and get every ball I can get, and I have no strategy. A lot of these smart people I learned from here because they know what they're doing, and so they teach me to anticipate, to get behind the ball, contact in front of the ball, and to be placement over power. So I'm trying to learn self-control.
I used to be a banger. I used to hit hard all the time, and I used to score because we were playing against people that were average or a little bit less than us. And then I'm saying, to get better, you actually have to learn the dink, the lob. It's every faction of the game you have to learn.
Turns out the game is not all about how hard you can hit it, which was baffling to me. I thought every sport was about how hard you could hit.
Point can go on forever based on the fact that you only get your points when you serve, but it makes it the rules make it a little easier for the returner. Pickleball game is going to be about 25 minutes. If you're a tournament director, you're going to leave 25 to 30 minutes. It can go longer, it can go shorter, and once you start playing this, you end up, it's addictive. It's very healthy for you. It's addictive. You're going to play 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Pickleball really is a godsend for me. I was diagnosed in 2015 with Parkinson's disease, and I went to a neurologist, told me I had Parkinson's, and he said the best thing I can do to keep it at bay for as long as possible is to be as active as possible. But I showed up at the pickleball courts one day, learned the game, and got hooked immediately. Been playing pickleball ever since.
You're always moving on the court. Even in doubles, you're moving on the court. Everybody says, oh, but it's a small court. But yeah, it's small, but you have to move really fast to get to the shots. And your feet have to be moving all the time. And a friend asked me who doesn't play, he says, you mean you sweat when you play pickleball? And we said, yeah. I mean, you really do work up a good sweat and a good workout.
we do enjoy playing the game with each other, and it's a game that you can continue to play. It's on a smaller court. Can be a lot of action, but we all enjoy playing and we enjoy each other's company.
We come out here, we'll play 2-3 hours, and at the end of the time, you generally don't know how many games you won, or how many games you lost. You're not really paying attention to that.
There is a difference in singles and doubles. And singles, you play pretty straightforward. I call my score. My score is 2, his score is 1. And as long as we're playing, the score goes to the server, the receiver. But when we play doubles, we suddenly have 2 servers. And that is what complicates this whole thing about scoring. My partner is now going to begin to serve as the second server, and my partner is going to start from wherever they are standing. So it's in terms of a third number. So 4-1 means that that team is 4 and this team's 1. When they add the third number, it's really saying first server or second server. If they say third server, you know they don't know what they're talking about. And there's an awful lot of that going on. All that third number is who the server is. So when I'm serving, I can get points. When you're receiving, you can't get points, but what you're trying to do is take the serve away from me. When I miss, I have forfeited one of my serves. And my partner is now going to be the second server, and my partner is going to serve, and we're going to get points until my partner misses. Then it's called a side out, and it's going to go to your opponents, and your opponents have the opportunity now to score. And that is the simplistic side of the scoring. And when I give clinics and people go, I don't get the scoring, I go, listen, I'm very good at teaching this game. Don't waste my time taking a math course.
For me, it's great exercise. It's an opportunity to move around and burn calories and not even think about it. It's been a godsend for me.
Just because we're old and the courts are smaller and it's a lot of fun and we can still play and have fun and smile and laugh and socialize and mentally be stable a little bit, very little bit.
It's been a side out. My team is going to begin serving. I'm going to serve from the right-hand side of the court. It always starts there. The server always starts there and serves diagonally across the court. It's always that way. Depending on where my partner was standing, they're going to pick it up and begin to serve there. They don't come back and begin in a certain place. They are going to serve from whatever position they happen to be in on right or left-hand side of the court.
The social, the laughter, we have so much fun. I said, we never know who wins or loses.
I think the most important part of pickleball is just getting out and being active and, getting the exercise and socializing and having a good time.
There's some unique rules in pickleball, one of which is the 2-bounce rule. And again, this was to take the power away from the big game. When I serve the ball, it's the first bounce. It's gone into my opponent's side of the court. So that satisfies half of the 2-bounce rule. But I can't charge to the net. I have to stay back and I have to wait for my opponents to return the ball. And when that ball comes, I have to let it hit. It's really difficult for tennis players to get this through their system because they want to charge in and take it. So you stay back and you let the ball hit, both you and your partner. And if you take it in the air, you lose the point. So you both stay back, and meanwhile, your competition has come up to the net, and you're in the back of the court trying to get into the court. And if they've hit the ball deep, you have more difficult problems to get in. And you cannot serve into the kitchen. You need to serve it beyond the kitchen each time you serve. And remember, you don't want to just make a weak serve, because this is the only time that you can score. So you need to get the ball in play. and you need to spend some time learning how to hit a serve, and a forehand is my suggestion on the best way to hit a serve.
Keep it in. Keep it in. Don't hit it hard. Don't play without out of your means. You play your game, and you just play and let them make the mistake.
You're only 7 feet from the net. Your competition is only 7 from the net. Only 14 feet separating you, and the ball is going back and forth. It's not going to hurt you if it hits you. It's a plastic wiffle ball. It's not going to hurt. Your pride will be hurt much worse than your body if you get hit in one of those exchanges. But it is good physical exertion. It's great exercise.
I get just as good a workout playing doubles pickleball as I ever did in tennis, and if not better. Matter of fact, since I started, within the first 2 years, I lost almost 30 pounds, and I didn't change my diet.
I am competitive, and the competitive part of me comes out in different degrees. It's not about everybody trying to kill each other. It's the fact that everybody is trying to outsmart the other, and that is a beautiful thing.
We play it at least 3 or 4 times a week. We play it when we go on vacation. When we go down to Florida, we have a group that we meet down there, and we play just about every day. So we have learned to just love the game of pickleball.
So the rules say in pickleball you need to use a paddle to hit the ball. You can't be playing handball. But I think most important is don't overhit the ball. I see people trying to slam the ball. Pickleball is a game of control placement. They'll slam the ball at me, I just take it and I just drop it back over the net.
Well, you get into a bang, it just goes back and forth, and it's just wild. It's like a gunfight. That's what I call them, gunfights. Sooner or later, you run out of bullets.
My play is very, I would say, aggressive in play, where I like to attack the ball to the other side. I like to use cross-court shots and stuff like that. I try lobs. With lobs that are tough outside, you got to be careful with the wind.
We teach this to a lot of people, a lot of different styles of play. But the best way is to get into the net, control the net. By getting to the net, they won't put themselves in a position where they're going to get hit. When I say get into the net, get into the kitchen line. Because in pickleball is that we have this area called the no volley zone. In fun, it's called the kitchen. I can set up camp in the kitchen if I want to. I haven't broken any rules. But I can't hit a volley. By volley, I mean a ball that has not hit the court from there. So if I'm standing there, people are going to hit the ball at me, and I cannot hit it, or I'll lose the point. So you don't want to be in the no volley zone only because you can be penalized by your opponents. I can go into the kitchen if somebody's hit a really high lob, and I know it's going to bounce. I have to let it hit, and once it hits, I can hit an overhead, but then I have to back out, because if I miss the overhead, somebody could hit the ball to me and I can't do anything about it.
There's nothing I don't like about it. I like everything about it. I like the camaraderie, like how welcoming the people are. Everybody's always friendly. If a ball's close and somebody calls it out and somebody says, "Are you sure?" and they say, "No, we'll reverse the call, take it over." I mean, everybody's real friendly and real easy to get along with.
My game is, I'm not a banger. I like to play a soft game. I like to play what I call a smart game, where I try to lure a player off the court or around the court and then hit a ball where they can't hit it. So I prefer a soft dinking game to a banging game.
The first couple of times I played pickleball, I was whiffing at the ball because it gets such a longer racket. So I was taking a few whiffs at the ball, but then you learn the racket's a little smaller. You got to get a little closer to the ball. You got to move your feet a little faster.
Let's talk about the most important shot in pickleball. And the reason I say it's the most important, everything starts with it, the serve. The serve is supposed to be an upward motion. It should be, the wrist has to be dropped. It's a slower motion, and you hit up on the ball. The whole purpose of that is to take away the big serve when the game was being formed. A lot of people hit sidearm serves. They're illegal, but if you're not planning to play in tournaments, I think everybody accepts it. A rule change came 2 years ago where you could actually drop the ball and then hit it. And that forced you to for sure be hitting up, because the pickleball doesn't bounce as high as the tennis ball, and it bounces very erratically because of the holes in it. So I'll drop it to the ground, let it hit, and then I'll hit it. And that's legal, and that kind of serve is, you can do just about anything you want with that drop serve. The rules say you can't throw it down, and the pickleball is, because of the holes in the indoor ball, there's 25 holes, and the outdoor ball, there's 40 holes. Because of the holes, it never bounces true. So if you throw it down, it's just going to bounce 2 or 3 degrees off, and you're going to be that much off on hitting the ball. So just drop it. Yeah, you can drop it in the air and hit it, or you can drop it and let it hit and hit it. But always drop the wrist, hitting up on the ball. Does the bounce from the serve disturb that? No, the whole purpose of the 2 bounce is the bounce at the end that the server creates, and the bounce coming back. They're the 2 bounces that are most important in this. There's no overhead serves like in tennis. There's no sidearm like in maybe hitting ground strokes. It's a drop, hitting up motion. And you can score when you're serving, but they want to take away any advantage you get from this big serve. That's the whole purpose. Well, these rules make sense if you look at them historically. One of the rules when we first started playing pickleball was just getting it in is all that counts, and all the instructors went around and said that. But what we're learning is that at least use the serve to keep your competition off balance. And one way of doing that is hit top spins, hit under spins. I drop it and hit a forehand drive. So my opponents are looking at a ball coming flat, or coming with topspin, or coming with underspin. Interestingly, a flat ball in pickleball, because of the holes in the ball, is the slowest one that you can hit. The spin tends to present itself to the wind as a solid until it slows down. In fact, the pickleball reminds me of some people I've known coming home from the factory on a Friday night. The closer to home they get, the more wobbly they get, because they've stopped in tavern after tavern. That's pretty much Mr. Pickleball.
The big thing with me is a good social thing. I've met a lot of people, nice people that I wouldn't have met otherwise.
You should play this game with tennis shoes or court shoes. So shoe tread is very important. Matter of fact, next to the paddle is probably the most important thing. Running shoes have a squared off edge, and it makes it easier if you don't have good balance. It makes it easier to go over. It makes it easier for you to lose your balance going laterally. Forefoot, you want good flex in the forefoot. You want to make sure that you're able to come up on your toes and keep yourself still and not fall forward, not fall back.
The second most important shot is a return of serve. I mean, it seems obvious, right? The first one was to get the point started. And the second one is, now the ball has come to you. The server is required to stand behind the line at their end, in between the sideline and the hash mark in the center. The returner can stand anywhere. I run into people being told they have to stand behind the baseline. You can return it anywhere. If you got a server, it can't serve much, take it short. So just remember, you can serve from anywhere. The key thing is you want to hit a good return, you want to hit a deep return. You don't want to bun it, you don't want to block it, you don't want to look like you're waiting for the 4:15 train to New Rochelle, you know. No, what you really want to do is hit it with some precision so you can get to the net. And I think your regular forehand is the best shot to use. There's 3 grips. There's a continental, there's the eastern, and there's the western. But use whatever you're comfortable with. There's advantages and disadvantages to each of those. But you only have 10 feet to cover. It's a 20-foot width here, and you're playing doubles. You only have 10. You are going to hit 80% of your shots are going to be the forehand. So you can get away with this without having to have a backhand. The point is that get in position. So you can't just stand there like you're waiting for the train. You have to get on the balls of your feet and move around, move around. Pickleball is not very accurate, so and the wind is moving it. So you want to keep moving. You want to keep your balance, and then you're going to hit it, and you're going to go into the net. And if you only hit it soft and in the middle, they're gonna come back with another shot. So I teach spin, top spin, under spin, where I can control the ball so it goes deep in the other end, and I can actually walk up to the net because I'm controlling it with the serve where the ball goes, and therefore I'm controlling what's going to come back. I'm only going to talk about the forehand grip because, as I say, 80% of the shots are there. I mentioned a continental. A continental is what I use, and that is when you're shaking hands with a grip. And you can take it back, hit a forehand, or when you come to the net, you can volley, and I never have to change. I never have to change my grip. Okay? Eastern is a little bit further around. When I impact, you can see I got a little bit of lead on it, and it's going to give a little bit of spin to the ball. A lot of the younger people have learned how to play tennis with a Western forehand, and that is this one. That is, that's a shot, and they can get fantastic topspin on it. The problem they have is the volley. Then when they get into the net, what are they going to do? And so we see a lot of the people with two hands be able to do the two-hand backhand volley with the Western forehand, but it presents a problem. If you hit it well with a Western, it's a great shot. Backhand you'll hardly ever hit, but the backhand, the continental lends itself, if you have a backhand, to be able to come around, and I can topspin, I can cut, and with bad knees, I can't run around the forehand, so I use my backhand all the time. Big part of the game is the volley, is of course getting there. And so we've returned to serve. We can go into the net because the ball is bounced on our side. We're up at the net, and now the ball is hit. And I cannot step into the no volley zone to volley. But I want to be as close to it as I can, because the closer you are to it, the more of the court's open to you to hit into. So when I'm standing, coming up there, I'm turning at the waist to hit my volley. I'd love to be able to move my feet like in tennis, or like a shortstop throwing the ball to first base. But I have learned just to take it from the volley, and it's a punch. It's no more than a 6-inch movement. I am taking my body weight, and my body weight is a part of punching the ball. My body weight is part of hitting a forehand. It's just a transfer of your body weight from your left foot, your right foot, or your waist, from your right to your left. Punch, punch, punch. How do you practice this? We'll go out, and 4 of us or 6 of us, and we'll just volley and try to do 30 volleys or 50 volleys. Just controlled volleys, control the ball, keep the ball going. And this is a great way. I can remember when we first started, I got all the people, and they said, "Are you kidding me? We're going to do 30 volleys?" And there was no way. And yet we were doing that in a short order when we started playing tournaments. Again, the volley is tied to the feet. It's moving the feet. It's moving the feet. Every volley I hit is exactly like every other one I've ever hit, regardless of where I am, because I have used my feet to move my body, and so I think you got to do something a couple 100,000 times to get really good at it. And if you have 3 different volleys, that means you got to do it 600,000 times. 200,000 times, you can have a great volley, and then use your feet to move and get in position. Of course, I know a lot of the tennis players are saying, "Well, I'll just lob them." How hard can it be to get past 2 people standing 7 feet behind the net? It's a small court. It really is a small court. The ball is very subject to the wind, pushing it around. So the lob has to be very precise. But what we teach on day one is if you're going to go for a lob, you turn sideways right away. As soon as you know you're going for a lob, to go backwards like this is how you're going to hurt yourself. And that's the injuries that normally happen in the very first several sessions because people have the wrong footwear and they try to go back and do this. Let it go. It doesn't matter. Let it go. So you're there, you want to do it properly, you're playing a match, you turn, you run sideways, and you wait and you hit it, and then you come back into the net. Not run around, just let it go if you need to, and go after the ball properly. It's all about balance. You don't want to hurt yourself in another place besides being around a bunch of pickleballers because you're going to see these are really a bunch of talented people with diverse backgrounds that know how to call 911. They know how to get the ambulance here. They know how to get the traffic out of the way. They know how to keep people from cluttering around you. You don't want to be around another group besides the pickleballers. You can see I'm passionate about it. It's very simple what we need in pickleball. We need a ball. This is a pickleball. Well, this pickleball is for the sissies. This is a pickleball. I'm just kidding. We do train with a ball that size, so we get used to it. Pickleballs are different. It's a plastic. They're different formations of plastic based on the manufacturer. A little softer, a little harder. Indoor balls only have 25 holes because there's no wind pushing it. And 40 holes are punched into the outdoor ball. It also has a coating that's more resistant to the outdoor courts. And you can't use your hand. So you need a paddle. Paddles are all different. They've done a terrible job marketing paddles. Very confusing. But that basically is what a better paddle is. The lesser paddles are made of compressed paper or a paper core. This is a plastic core formulated just to keep the noise down. So some of the American paddles are quieter than the other paddles. They come in different sizes. They come in different lengths. But there is a rule that how long they can be. If they're longer, they have to be more narrow. And then oh, by the way, I have a sale today. Would you like 10% off? But this is a good example of what a real paddle is. The colors you see there are whatever's been put over the top of it. That can be fiberglass, that can be graphite. And those materials, believe it or not, can make a big difference in playability. There definitely is a difference. And I've been asked to do paddle clinics before, and when I went down, I saw all the people standing there rubbing their arms. And I thought, why are you rubbing your arm? Let me hit with your paddle. Oh, it was awful. So in some cases it should have been good. So I don't know if they were counterfeit or if they had been used and used and used. There's a shelf life to every paddle. This core gets beaten down on the inside and becomes just dead. So pay attention. Go to a place that has demos where you can try and demo different paddles and learn what's good for you, and then put the whole paddle thing behind you so you can worry about learning how to move your feet, approach the ball. You know, that's what it's all about. There are no magic bullets. People are always looking for the magic bullet. The magic bullet is really the basics. Do the basics and do them precisely, and you will be the best pickleballer in a short amount of time. So I'm hoping today, at the conclusion, you feel like you understand the game of pickleball. Maybe you're encouraged to go out and play it. Maybe if you play it, maybe you're one of the 50 million. It's not about being the best pickleballer. It's about enjoying yourself, the fun, the fellowship that you're going to have. The people that you've met today are so much fun, and I enjoy being around them. And they're like this everywhere. I get invited to play different places. Pickleballers are just a lot of fun.
You'd be amazed at how many friends I've made and gotten to know, and it's just great.
It's one of the most inexpensive when you first start playing.
To get the basics of serving and returning and drop shots, you learn those basic shots and your game just takes quantum leaps from there.